There was a time when cities like Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and St. Louis were bustling gateways to the skies, major airline hubs connecting travelers across the country and around the world. But today, many of those terminals sit quiet, the departure boards no longer filled with constant flights, and the jetways often empty. Over the past few decades, airline mergers, changing travel patterns, and advances in aircraft technology have reshaped the United States' aviation map, leaving once critical airports behind. Some were victims of consolidation, others sidelined by more profitable mega hubs, and a few, like Anchorage and Memphis, found new life, not with passengers, but with cargo. In this episode of A Brief History, I'm taking a closer look at 6 former hub airports across the United States, how they rose, why they declined, and what's left today. This is the story of the forgotten hubs of American aviation. Before I dive in, it's important to define what I actually mean by a hub airport. A hub isn't just a busy airport with lots of passengers. It's a key part of an airline's network. In a hub-and-spoke system, airlines funnel passengers from smaller spoke cities into centralized hub airports, where they can connect to dozens of destinations through a single point. At its peak, a true hub might see hundreds of daily flights from the same airline, all carefully scheduled to create banks of connections, so someone flying from a small town can reach almost anywhere in the country or even internationally with just one stop. Airlines use hubs to maximize efficiency, reduce operating costs, and dominate specific regions. But when economics shift, or when airlines merge, those hubs can disappear almost overnight, leaving behind oversized terminals, empty gates, and a whole lot of local frustration. In the 1990s, Pittsburgh International Airport was a bustling hub, the heart of U.S. Airways' network. The iconic midfield terminal, opened in 1992, featured 75 gates spread across 4 concourses and was connected by an underground tram system, built specifically to handle hundreds of daily flights and thousands of connecting passengers. At its peak, Pitt supported over 500 daily departures and carried more than 20 million passengers annually, ranking it among the busiest airports in the country. But this golden era didn't last. After the tragic events of 9/11, the airline industry faced a crisis, and U.S. Airways, already struggling, filed for bankruptcy twice within a few years. The airline began slashing flights out of Pittsburgh, citing high operating costs and growing competition from low-cost carriers. Passenger traffic plummeted from nearly 10 million in 2001 to just 6.6 million by 2004, and flights were cut almost in half. With so much reduced activity, large sections of the terminals became ghost towns. By 2010, fewer than half of the original 75 gates were regularly in use, and some concourses were just shut down entirely. Passenger numbers hit a low of just 7.8 million by 2013, dropping Pittsburgh's national rank from 23rd to 46th. Recognizing that the sprawling hub-era infrastructure no longer fit the airport's needs, Pittsburgh began a massive modernization and downsizing effort. This project cost over $1.5 billion, aimed to transport Pitt into a smaller, more efficient airport designed for today's travel patterns. The renovation included reducing the number of gates from 75 to roughly 51 to 63, closing the underground tram system, and consolidating operations to shorten walking distance and baggage handling routes. The right-sizing effort has significantly lowered operating costs by around $20 million per year without relying on local tax dollars. Meanwhile, new airlines like Southwest, Allegiant, Frontier, and Spirit filled the gap left by U.S. Airways, bringing more competition and options for travelers. Passenger numbers have rebounded, reaching nearly 10 million in 2019, dipping during the pandemic, then climbing back to around 9.95 million in 2024, the highest traffic since the hub days. Today, Pittsburgh International is no longer a major hub, but a thriving origin and destination airport with a modern, leaner footprint. Its story is a powerful example of how airports can adapt and reinvent themselves as airline strategies evolve, showing the rise, fall, and rebirth of one of America's once great aviation hubs. Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport, or CVG, was once a major hub for Delta Airlines and its predecessor, Northwest Airlines. For decades, it connected the Midwest with the world through hundreds of daily flights. At its peak in the early 2000s, CVG handled around 400 daily departures and carried close to 11 million passengers annually. It was a vibrant hub, especially important for Delta's domestic and international routes, including flights to Europe. But after the 2008 merger of Northwest and Delta, priorities shifted. Delta consolidated operations to larger hubs like Detroit and Minneapolis, leaving CVG with a reduced schedule. Rising fuel costs and competition from low-cost carriers added to the pressure. And by 2015, passenger numbers had fallen to about 8 million, and daily flights were significantly cut back. While Delta still maintains a single daily flight to Paris, much of the airport's former international and connecting traffic moved elsewhere. In response, CVG has become a major cargo hub, serving as one of the largest centers in the United States for Amazon Air and DHL. This cargo dominance has provided financial stability and a new identity, though passenger traffic has remained modest compared to its heyday. Today, CVG's passenger service has stabilized around 9 million travelers annually as of 2023, with growing support from low-cost carriers, particularly Frontier and Allegiant, that have expanded their presence in recent years. The airport has invested in terminal upgrades aimed at improving traveler experience despite its reduced hub role. CVG's evolution, from a bustling Delta hub to a leading cargo facility and regional passenger airport, reflects broader shifts in airline strategy and the changing landscape of American air travel. St. Louis Lambert International Airport, or STL, was once a major hub in the United States aviation landscape, largely thanks to its role as the home base for trans-world airlines. During the 1980s and early 1990s, STL was among the busiest airports in the nation, handling over 30 million passengers annually at its peak. This volume placed STL consistently in the top 10 of airports by passenger traffic nationwide. While TWA's international flights didn't depart directly from STL to Europe or South America, the airline provided seamless connections through other hubs like New York's JFK and Chicago O'Hare, linking STL travelers to global destinations. This made STL a vital connecting airport, especially for business travelers and those heading overseas. The airport's infrastructure was built to support high passenger volumes with multiple concourses and modern facilities designed for hub operations. However, by the late 1990s and early 2000s, the picture began to change. TWA experienced severe financial difficulties, culminating in its acquisition by American Airlines in 2001. American quickly refocused operations, concentrating connecting traffic at larger hubs such as Chicago O'Hare and Dallas-Fort Worth, which had more extensive international networks. The impact on STL was immediate and profound. Passenger traffic dropped sharply from its peak of over 30 million to approximately 20.4 million by 2003 and continued declining in subsequent years. By 2010, annual passenger numbers had fallen below 15 million. The airport lost its last remaining transatlantic service to London Gatwick in the early 2000s, reflecting the diminished international role. Today, STL serves around 15 million passengers annually, a fraction of its heyday numbers. The airport no longer functions as a hub for any major airline, with carriers primarily offering point-to-point service. Legacy carriers such as American, Delta, and United operate flights mostly focused on domestic routes and connections to their main hubs. Meanwhile, low-cost carriers like Southwest and Allegiant have increased their presence at STL, bringing affordable options that have helped stabilize passenger numbers and attract new travelers. These airlines focus on leisure and regional markets rather than connecting traffic. STL has also invested in modernization projects to improve the passenger experience, including upgrades to the terminals and concourses, better dining and retail options, and enhanced security processes. These improvements aim to maintain STL's relevance in a competitive aviation market despite the loss of hub status. The story of St. Louis Lambert International Airport illustrates the broader changes in the airline industry, how mergers, economic pressures, and shifting strategies can dramatically reshape an airport's role. While STL may never reclaim its former glory as a bustling TWA hub, it remains a crucial regional airport serving millions of passengers each year, an enduring part of St. Louis's transportation infrastructure and economic landscape.
Fun times in Cleveland again.
Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, or CLE, has long been a key part of Northeast Ohio's transportation network. For decades, it served as a major hub for Continental Airlines and later United Airlines after their 2010 merger. During its peak years in the early 2000s, CLE handled close to 9 million passengers annually, supporting hundreds of daily flights. The airport's importance extended beyond passenger traffic. It was a significant economic driver for the region, supporting thousands of jobs in aviation, hospitality, and related industries. But the 2010 merger between United and Continental drastically altered CLE's trajectory. United prioritized its larger hubs in Chicago, Newark, and Denver, shifting flights away from Cleveland. The airline began cutting back connecting flights, which led to a steep decline in passenger volume. Passenger numbers fell sharply, dropping below 6 million annually by 2015, and the airport's role shifted from a bustling hub to a regional focus. Many longtime passengers lamented the loss of convenient connections and direct flights, which affected both business travel and local tourism. Despite these challenges, Cleveland has worked to adapt and reinvent itself. The airport has invested in terminal upgrades to improve passenger experience, from expanded dining options to modernized gate areas. Low-cost carriers like Southwest and especially Frontier have increased their presence, bringing competitive fares and new routes to attract travelers. CLE's strategic location remains a strong advantage, offering relatively easy access for millions of people across Northeast Ohio and neighboring states. The airport has also embraced cargo operations to diversify its business, with several logistics companies using CLE as a regional distribution point. Looking forward, Cleveland Hopkins aims to strengthen its role as a convenient, customer-focused airport. While it may never regain its former hub status, its evolution reflects broader industry trends, showing how mid-sized airports can survive and thrive by adapting to changing airline strategies and traveler demands. Ted Stevens' Anchorage International Airport has long been a strategic asset in global aviation. During the mid-20th century, it served as a crucial refueling and technical stop for trans-Pacific flights, thanks to its location roughly halfway between North America and Asia. This positioning made Anchorage a vital link for airlines operating long-haul routes across the Pacific Ocean. However, the advent of extended-range twin-engine operational performance standards in the 1980s significantly altered this dynamic. ETOPS certification allowed twin-engine aircraft, such as the Boeing 777 and later the Boeing 787, to fly longer distances without the need for intermediate stops. This advancement enabled airlines to operate non-stop flights across the Pacific, bypassing Anchorage and reducing its role in the trans-Pacific passenger travel. Despite the decline in passenger traffic, Anchorage leveraged its strategic location to become a global cargo powerhouse. Today, Anchorage ranks as the fourth busiest cargo airport in the world, handling approximately 3.38 million metric tons of cargo annually. In 2023, the airport facilitated over 8,000 cargo flights per month, with flights departing to or arriving from 103 different locations. Major cargo carriers including FedEx, UPS, Cathay Pacific, Atlas Air, and more operate significant hubs at Anchorage. FedEx Express, for instance, processes up to 13,400 packages per hour at its Anchorage facility. UPS handles about 5,000 parcels per hour. These operations underscore Anchorage's pivotal role in facilitating efficient cargo movement between Asia, North America, and beyond. As we've seen, the story of former U.S. hub airports is one of transformation, adaptation, and resilience. From Pittsburgh's strategic downsizing, Cincinnati's shift to cargo, St. Louis's decline after TWA's fall, Cleveland's reinvention, and Anchorage's unique evolution as a cargo powerhouse, each airport tells a story about how the airline industry's shifting priorities reshape the places we travel through. These airports may no longer serve as the bustling hubs they once were, but they remain vital to their regions and continue to evolve in fascinating ways. Their histories remind us that change is constant in aviation, and success often depends on the ability to adapt. If you enjoyed this deep dive into America's former hub airports, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. Got a favorite airport you want me to talk about next? Drop it in the comments, because I'm always listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.